I've gained 45 pounds in a week. Pete, what's happening to me?
Well, what's your diet like?
Milk and cookies,
Really?
but I don't finish all the milk.
Well, then there is your problem. Just try to cut back on the sweets, okay? Anything else?
Yeah. How fast does hair grow? Facial hair.
What?
I shave in the morning, in the afternoon, I look like this.
Well, it could be a hormonal imbalance.
That would explain the mood swings.
Mood swings?
Yeah, but look at my hair, it's turning gray.
Oh, it's middle age, buddy. It happens. And with that body, you should be thankful you have hair. Look, if it bothers you, you can diet, and you should diet. Just kidding. Okay, up with the shirt. Let's take a listen to the old ticker. Whoa. Okay.
Oh, it's cold.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros Podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I am joined by my co-hosts.
Abraham.
And Nick.
How you guys doing tonight?
I'm all right.
I'm good too.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Feeling in the holiday spirit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
the holiday season. Who did it?
I was yesterday. Yesterday I was on the holiday season. I went to Christmas Tree Lane yesterday.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Is it?
nice.
It's all lit up?
Yeah, it was lit up. It was
It's like one of the few walking days you can do, huh?
no, it was yesterday was a driving.
Oh, okay.
The walking day I didn't get to make it. The other one is just on a Tuesday night. It's so random.
I'll
but-
never forget walking Christmas Tree Lane with
Dude.
you and you getting us lost.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I don't know how we got so. How did we get so lost?
Because of him.
And we were like,
No,
we
it's
walked
not my fault. It is
He
not
was
my
like,
fault.
turn right here. And we were
Because
just like,
listen.
All right.
Listen.
Dude, we walked like 5 miles.
there was like no street lights on the line. There
didn't
was
know
mud
where we
everywhere. We were like, dude, where are we even going? And eventually we were just like, let's just get an Uber to take us back.
We were like 20 minutes away too.
Yeah.
What do you have to say for yourself? Internal map.
I wanted to say, let's just turn around and walk back the way that we walked down. Like, we'll just walk back the other side.
Yeah.
We
And
can't.
everyone was like, no.
I don't even know where we went, honestly. I was just walking.
We
I-
walked
didn't really
after we
care.
finished. We walked across the street. We had Pyology.
Yes,
Remember
that what is that called? Like the fig, not the fig tree.
The
it's-
Fig
Yeah,
Garden
Fig
Plaza.
Garden.
Yes,
Plaza.
yes.
Walked across the street, had Pyology that
And then we
night.
walked back.
And we
across
walked back. And I said, let's just walk back down.
Yeah, but we went like this way. Hella
Yeah,
that way.
because,
right?
Yeah,
because
because-
where we parked,
Abe
The
said,
road-
turn right. And then we went down Maroa, and Maroa was just nothing but darkness.
And it wasn't
Yeah,
even
but-
like
so dark, bro.
for some reason I remember just walking down like it almost seemed like a financial district.
But Christmas Tree Lane comes at an angle, so that's what messed us up.
Mm.
We went at an angle.
And then get this. Later that year, I found out from somebody we could have taken a shuttle.
No,
Oh, really?
What?
There's a shuttle that waits in Fig Garden Plaza that takes people back to the start.
Hey, that's a memory we'll never forget.
Yeah, you guys were very upset with me.
Dude, we were walking forever.
Yeah, it felt like forever. And I was like, dude, when are we getting
I
back?
was like, because I'm trying to look up where the lights at. I couldn't see any of the
There was
Christmas
no
tree
light.
Yeah.
It was dark. There was. I remember like we all had to walk in a single file line because there was mud on this side, cars on this side.
Yeah. It was tough.
That was wild.
Yeah.
But and yesterday was just really cute. I was at work. I had this really cute little girl come to my line. She was like singing a Christmas song, and she was like, "I'm so excited for Christmas," and she was just really in the spirit. So super exciting.
Yeah.
You didn't break it? I would have wanted to.
To Santa's did.
No, I would have just been like, wait until you grow up and get older and you got to buy everybody presents.
I know. Just
She just looks at you like,
Wait,
where?
existential
wait till you
crisis
grow up and
at
only get
7.
socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Be thankful.
Wait until you grow up and you have a Christmas where you have everything you already want and you don't know what you want anymore, and then everyone gives you underwear and socks.
And you're just sitting there like,
And you sit there and be like, man, Christmas was better when I was a kid.
jeez. Hey, there's some truth in it though.
A little bit. But we come to find out that it's more about family. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the family, it's the quality time
time.
rather than the gifts. And it kind of transitions to like my holiday spirit and magic and all that joyfulness is no longer like, oh, I wake up and I'm excited for gifts. I look at my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And I see them all happy and that makes me happy.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, even though I'm 27 years old, there is still a part of me where I'm kind of like, I find it hard to sleep on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Dude, me too.
Because I'm kind of just like, oh man, I can't wait to see what people think when they open the gift I got them, or maybe even potentially what I get. You know, like, I don't know. There's still a little bit of that there for me. But like, I remember it being hard when I was a kid to sleep.
Oh yeah, easily.
Like, and like waking up multiple times in the middle of the night, going and checking the tree and seeing if there were presents under it.
Yes.
And then whenever I finally saw that there were presents under it, I would be like, all right, I'm going to sleep. Like, I
Dude.
can go to sleep finally.
Okay, I had for some reason I remember this story my Christmas childhood. I was so excited for Santa to come that I fell asleep on a recliner right next to the tree we had in our living room. Like I didn't even go to my room. I fell asleep on the recliner. And when I woke up in the morning, there was a bike there. And I woke up and I was like, yo! I was so hyped.
Yeah.
But because I thought for sure that I'd hear someone moving something.
Yeah.
And it was just magically there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the magic that won it for me.
You
What
got a
was-
memorable one like that?
No.
Not one that you could think of where you were like, dude, I got something I really wanted.
No, not really. No,
Right.
not,
I see those.
my like the best things that like I think the coolest thing I got when I was little was like my first pair of Vans.
Oh, okay.
Like that was like, cause I always got swap meet shoes growing up, bruh.
Mhm.
And like, finally getting like my first pair of Vans, I felt so cool,
Yeah.
bruh.
I feel the same. I used to wear it. I had to wear Airwalks.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had
All the
fake,
time.
Payless
I
shoe
had
stores.
Yep.
fake Vans. I had no tags on my shoes,
Yeah.
and you would know they were fake. And
I think only really like we cared about that stuff. Like
Yeah.
you yourself, I don't think
Yeah.
it. Like I don't remember going through school and seeing someone wearing like DCs and me like, you know,
Yeah.
like I never cared. I always cared about like what people would think of me, but
yeah.
I don't think anyone really
I never
even.
cared about anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think to myself like, I wasn't even like notable enough for people to comment on me. You know what I mean? Like I was just like shuffling through the crowds.
Yeah.
And I like hated myself for so long for no damn reason.
Yeah. I get that.
yeah,
That's childhood, bro.
Yeah.
yeah, it really is childhood.
But okay, tell me, does this movie bring the magic for you?
Yeah, it makes me feel something for sure, because like I left the movie smiling for sure.
Mm.
But and like it made me feel something. I don't know, cause this is a movie I kind of would throw on and stuff like after watching it. But so for sure it made me feel some type of way.
Magic.
I will say, I would put on other Christmas movies before I put on.
I would no. I hear you. I hear you.
I think of Home Alone immediately.
Me too.
I think of
And I mean, there are Christmas movies that they put the magic in me, but they're ones that we've already done.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go see It's a Wonderful Life again
True.
this year on Friday, because that's when it's showing at the Merced Tower Theater, and that's a movie where I watch it every year, cry every time, and every time I leave the theater, I'm like,
It's Christmas.
it's Christmas. And I got to be thankful for my life.
Mhm.
Like, I have so much to be thankful for. I have so much to be grateful for. I know that, like, the world would be different if I wasn't in it. People's lives would be different, you know, and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, that kind of is the bringing in of the season for me, I guess. That sounded really selfish. Now that I sounded back, listen to the back to what I just said, but I didn't mean to come off selfish at all. But yeah, that movie really does it for me. Home Alone 2 and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Mm. The animated version
No,
or the live action?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Okay. Yeah, I would say. I mean, this one it makes me think about Christmas, but it's hard to. There's no like joy, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys have a history with the film that we're talking about today?
I don't. I like I said, I like remember certain scenes from this movie, but I don't remember actually watching this movie. This was like my first actually walkthrough, and the only like history I have with this movies are the Jack Frost one,
The third one.
The third one.
because I remember watching that one in not in school, but in Disney Channel. Like I had cable, and that would come on, and that's what I would watch.
Okay.
So
What movie are we talking about?
we are actually talking about the 1994 film, The Santa Claus, that is written by, excuse me, I didn't write that down, Leo Benevolenti and Steve
Rudnick.
and is directed by John Pasquin. And it is on Disney Plus, if you want to watch it there. But yeah, we are talking about this movie, and this movie is about basically Steve. Is his name Steve? Carell?
Scott Calvin.
Scott Calvin is a candy maker. No, a candy
He's a toy
salesman.
maker.
Yeah, he's a toy maker.
Toy
ma-
salesman.
Toy salesman, and it's about him coming about and finding out that he ends up being Santa Claus.
Yep.
And
It's a pretty
That's
bare.
literally
Yeah, that's it.
and this is his story of how he becomes Santa Claus.
Okay. I have to say too, you were talking about how you kind of really just had experience with the third one. I only ever remember really watching the second one for some reason
See, now I don't remember the second one at all.
Me
because of Toy Santa, like the like fake clone plastic Santa.
Does he look like a nutcracker?
Kinda,
Okay.
but like he looks so plastic and fake looking, and he sticks out in my mind for some reason. But I remember watching these movies with my grandma for some reason. I think she's the one that showed me these movies, but the second one, maybe because it came out later in the 2000s, that it sticks out more in my mind than anything. But
oh my gosh.
Oh, I knew
are you
you'd
looking
have
at a photo of him?
Oh,
I do remember
holy.
this. I do remember this, but I don't remember it.
I just unlocked a memory for you.
Holy.
I remember specifically this one that makes him look like
He's a
he-
general.
a general.
Yeah, that's
I-
the second one.
Yeah, I remember that picture, but I
Oh
don't remember
my-
the movie.
He looks like a dictator right there.
Yeah, that's like at the end when he takes over the North Pole,
Oh,
and he's
wow.
like, "I'm gonna be Santa now."
I have zero history
Yeah,
with
I
these
have
movies.
no recollection of
Z-
that.
Absolute zero. I remember a little bit of because who is Jack Frost? Is he like?
What's his name?
Martin Short.
Is it Martin Short?
Yeah.
I remember. I just remember him
Mm.
being in the movie. I don't
Yeah.
remember the plot at all.
Okay.
And this will be my first watch for the Santa Claus. I think.
Okay. You know that they got a series now on Disney
Yes.
Plus called
Yeah.
The Santa Clauses.
When I
Yes.
went on to watch the movie, that was the first thing that showed up, and I was like, "This is not what I'm trying to watch,"
Mhm.
and I was so confused.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the origin of it all. This is where it all started here with Tim Allen.
With Hamill.
Dude, it's hard for me to see that guy and not think of the Tool Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's hard not to. It's hard to look at him and not see Buzz Lightyear
Yeah.
mm.
for me, or freaking from Wild Hogs.
Wow.
You're the only person that talks about that movie.
Dude,
man.
that movie,
I think me and you are the only ones that talk. That's a good.
that movie had an impact on me when I was a kid, man. I thought that movie was hilarious.
I thought that movie was hilarious too. Dude,
Wild
Martin
Hogs,
Lawrence in
dude.
that film is so funny. Are you kidding me?
I've
He
never
goes,
seen
dude,
it.
Are you
There's a
serious?
Yeah,
Dude,
I've
there's
never
a
seen
scene
Dude.
when they're. If you're never gonna watch it, I don't care.
I'm never gonna.
There's a
watch.
scene when they're like skinny dipping, and he goes, You got your drawers out, and like it was so funny, dude. Martin Lawrence is so funny. I love
I
Martin
have no
Lawrence.
clue, man. Yeah, that movie's hilarious.
I can watch it tonight, bro. It's on HBO Max. I know for sure it is on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have a weird history with Tim Allen because for the longest time, because I always saw him in kid movies, I always thought like, oh, he's like a family friendly actor and all this stuff. And then I come to find out, dude was like an ex cocaine trafficker
Yeah.
and like has a criminal record and like all this stuff. And I was like, what the hell? I didn't even know that. That's kind of crazy. And then I saw his mugshot and everything.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
His mugshot looks good. Why?
Yeah. I was like, dude, what the? I
Santa's
never
got a
even
mugshot.
I never even knew this. It's crazy.
Tim Allen.
Yeah. He looks fire. He's got a mustache.
Yeah, he looks fire. I hate to say
And
it.
this was before his acting careers or what?
Yeah, it was in the 70s or something like that, I think.
He's a good-looking man.
He is. Holy.
Yeah, it's like late 70s because I think he got paroled in 1981.
Oh wow.
And then he got a DUI in like the 90s or something.
Now, is
But
this his first role?
It's his first leading role.
Leading role.
Leading role. Okay, so he was
Yeah.
supporting it in other movies.
that and also was in TV because Home Improvement was a big thing
Oh, you're right.
before.
Yeah.
I
but-
don't remember much of Home Improvement.
I don't either. I remember it would come on really late at night when I was a kid, and I knew if that or George Lopez was on, that it was time for me to go to sleep.
Isn't
Yeah.
Home Improvement like his neighbor? You can only see his eyes.
It's like Hat
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking of the right show.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the Santa Claus.
Let's get it.
Like I was saying, I feel like I didn't ever really watch these movies a lot when I was a kid. I always like stuck to your Home Alones, Elf. I used to rewatch this movie called Unaccompanied Minors a lot when I was a kid for some reason. It's like these kids get locked in an airport on Christmas Eve, and they're trying to break out of the airport. It was a really obscure movie that I would watch a lot with my brothers. And other little things like that. But the Santa Claus movies were like never in the running for me.
No.
But they were always in the rotation for my wife. Like, these are incredibly nostalgic for her. And I think, no joke, on Black Friday, we woke up, she immediately was like, let's decorate for... No, even before Thanksgiving, we were already decorated for Christmas. So it had to have been before then. Maybe in the middle of November, I woke up and she was watching the Santa Claus.
Really?
And yeah, and I was like, I never really ever watched these movies, and she just went on this whole diatribe about how they're, just incredibly nostalgic for her and all this stuff. And
Oh wow.
I was always like, these were a skip for me. Like when I was a kid, I
Easily.
never really paid attention to them, or like was like, let's put that on.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with you. Like I think it's a movie that I will return to for sure, but it's not like a first pick for sure. Because I would always watch. I could rewatch The Polar Express over and over and over again, and that I was the type of kid to watch a movie like that. There was this very a Mickey Mouse Christmas movie, bro. I laughed at it so hard that I would cry. It was so funny. And I'll show you guys the movie later. But, like, I never would watch these movies. So coming to this really made me excited, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, it's streaming on Disney Plus. So if you've got that streaming service, check it out. If you've got it on Blu-ray or VHS or something like that, pop it in and take a trip down memory lane. We'll be hitting spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, pause it and come back. If you don't care about spoilers, continue listening. But the Santa Claus follows, as Abe had said, a wealthy and successful businessman who makes toys, and all of a sudden he gets the responsibility of being Santa Claus thrust upon him, and we kind of watch him navigate that territory and kind of the challenges that come along with it, as well as the warm moments and everything to follow as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our categories. And first up, we got favorite scenes. Got any favorite scenes here?
No.
That's not a good look.
I hate to break it to you. No.
Yeah, I'll say the same because I put most of my stuff down in Bromo.
Yeah, I have like 4 or 5 bread moments. So, but I don't have nothing that stuck out to me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't need. I wrote one scene down just because it really made me laugh.
Yeah,
and I
let's talk
enjoyed
about it. I mean,
basically, he goes. The whole movie starts off with, he has a really troubled relationship with his ex-wife, and because she's with a psychiatrist who is telling the kid, their kid together, that Santa's not real, that he's not a person but more of a feeling.
he's
and
an
all that.
idea or something.
Yeah,
like
an
that.
idea. And for some reason, Scott is like so upset about this, and he's like, Santa's real. They just are naughty. They don't believe, and all that stupid crap.
Yeah.
Until the night rolls around after he tells him that whole the night before Christmas book
Yeah.
starts to become real. There was a knocking on the roof. You saw the ladder that's up there, and then you look
Rose
up.
such a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see Santa on the roof. And then you see that he's like he like yells at him, and Santa gets flustered and falls off.
Yeah.
And his fate is unknown.
Yep.
But the
But he's
role,
dead.
yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, I
Santa's
don't think
dead.
he's dead. You think he's dead?
Santa's dead, dude.
He waved at the end. I don't think he's dead.
That dude's counting worms.
He got Thanos snapped away for
Yeah.
sure. But the role now is thrust upon Scott Calvin, who I don't think he really is understanding what's happening. To be honest, he gets that card that says "put the thing on," and he's like, "I'm not putting this on.
Yeah.
I don't know where this thing has been. It's probably gross."
Yeah.
And he ends up doing it, but with his son's help, and he finds out that it's what's going on is truly happening. He is
Yeah.
becoming Santa. And my favorite scene starts when, after he just gets through going through the North Pole, all that stuff, and he goes to sleep and he wakes up back at home. You think it's really like all a dream, but he's still wearing the Santa Claus nightgown.
Mm-hmm.
I would wear that.
It looks so
It's
nice.
like satin pajamas.
That's what I'm saying. It looks comfy.
Yeah.
It does look comfy.
I would love that.
Yes, he's there, so we know it's real. So we
Mhm.
know he's a legit Santa Claus, and the kid even remembers everything too. But we get told that he's got all the way up until Thanksgiving to be prepared for his new role, because Christmas is gonna come. That's when he needs to get ready.
Mhm.
And like throughout the film, he's slowly turning into the Santa Claus that we all know and love. The big jolly, he's slowly growing his beard. Slowly his hair is turning white. He's getting a little thicker. He's slowly fitting into the Santa outfit that he wasn't fitting into earlier.
Mhm.
And there comes a scene where he wakes up one night and you don't see his face, but you see like his belly.
Yeah, and he stands up and goes
Yeah,
and freaking farts.
for no reason. But
Don't lie. You all do it too.
not like that, man.
I fart in the shower. So
I'd be getting out of bed and I'd be slipping a fart.
That
No.
makes it smell so much worse, to be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah, I don't know what it is, bro. I'll get ready. I go get everything ready, and as soon as I freaking step in that shower, it's letting them fly.
So is this fool. And he
Yeah.
gets up to the mirror and he's like looking at himself. He's like he's gotten like it's almost overnight. He's gained like 40 pounds. And it's so funny because he's like, no, this isn't real. And he goes to the scale and he steps on it and it's like 192, and then it continues to rise and he's like, the scale's broken.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the mirror, and I think this is when we get the shot of his face where he's like poking at his new rolls and all that,
Yeah.
and he's looking at the mirror and then he goes,
Just yells for no
Yeah.
reason.
I filmed it because I was laughing at it so hard. And if you don't know what we're talking about, this is exactly what it sounded like.
and it's like out of nowhere he just goes,
It almost sounds like it's SpongeBob laughing, but without the cut. It's just like
Oh,
him
man.
laughing, like without the.
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds
It reminds me of The Graduate.
the mom on the
The mom
graduate
going, Yeah, dude. Like,
just out of pocket screams.
sound barrier breaking scream, dude.
It's so funny. It is so good.
Yeah.
And
I was laughing so hard, but trying to keep it together because Alexa fell asleep while we were
When
watching
you sent that video,
And so I saw it and was going, like sitting there laughing, and then I rewound it back, and filmed it, and you could hear me in the background going,
Yeah, yeah.
"Yeah,
It is. It's caught me so off guard.
me too."
There's no reason for it, but it also reminded me of the Home Alone scene when he's putting the aftershave on.
and he goes,
And just screams. Yeah.
"Yeah,
But I like the whole, the slow transition of him turning into Santa, like especially when he goes to work and he's got no clothing that fits him,
yeah."
and he's like,
Just
they're
eating nothing but chocolate chip cookies. And
and the sweets and all
Yeah.
that, and everyone's looking at him. And then there's even a guy who's trying to pitch a new, it's either a comic or a toy idea of
Yeah.
Santa like in tanks,
In
and he's
tank.
like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You can't do that." He's like, "You can't watch Santa rolling around in a Panzer."
Yeah,
And you just see him kind of fulfilling the role, or
Yeah.
slowly kind of fitting into the Santa we know and love.
yeah. And I mean, we get scenes like that throughout the film too, where like he is like now, keeping on all the weight. He's keeping the white hair and the beard and stuff, and wearing
mean-
like a red zip-up hoodie and red Converse and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And
Hey,
kids are coming up to him and sitting on his lap and being like, I want this for Christmas and blah blah blah. And he's walking around town and looking at people and being like, oh, that's Jonathan. He's on the naughty list.
Mm-hmm.
But his friend Jeremy, he's on the nice list,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And that's essentially what you watch throughout the entirety of the film, before you get to the end of it, where there's this whole like drama where the ex-wife eventually is like, I'm not going to allow you to see Charlie anymore because you're keeping up this whole Santa facade, and I don't feel like it's good for him, so we're going to revoke your visitation rights.
Yeah,
So you
that's a
can't-
major bro moment for
Yeah,
me.
so you can't see him anymore.
That's crazy.
And eventually it gets to the point where he breaks the agreement and goes and sees Charlie and takes him to the North Pole with him to deliver presents and all this stuff again. And then a police chase and manhunt happens because now they think this guy just kidnapped his kid, when in reality it's actually Santa Claus. And in
And
the
the
end,
kid voluntarily is like, "Yeah, I want to go."
yeah. And then in the end, she ends up burning the papers and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and realizing, oh, he actually is Santa, and all that stuff.
He wasn't lying. He wasn't
Yeah.
putting a idea in his head.
Yeah. But yeah, if that's it for the favorite scenes, then the big majority of my scenes here are in the bro moment category.
Yeah, I hear
So-
you.
If that's it for favorite scenes, then let's move into our best quotes.
One of my favorite quotes is the first times in this scene. It's the first day that he put on the suit and he's actually having to deliver the rest of the toys that first Christmas. There's this little girl and she awake and sees him and he's holding this doll. And and this really made me laugh.
He's so pissed to be there.
She's like, "Why aren't you fatter? Why aren't you? Where's your beard?" And blah blah blah. And finally, he shows her what he has, and he goes, "Do you want this doll?" And she goes, "Okay, then go back to sleep." And then just throws the doll. and then she look, and then it was just super funny.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm just like, "Do you want this?" And just throw it.
Yeah. Another one that made me laugh from Tim Allen there was whenever Charlie goes over to his house on Christmas Eve and the mom leaves and all this stuff. Charlie keeps talking to his dad about how Neil says he doesn't believe in Santa and all this stuff, and he says that he looks at his dad and says, Neil said he doesn't believe in Santa, and then Scott Calvin responds with, well, Neil's head comes to a point. And I started laughing at that for no reason.
Looking like an exclamation point.
He hates that guy.
Yeah. Another best quote for me actually is comes whenever they meet some of the elves in the North Pole, and Scott Calvin says something to one of the elves that makes the hot chocolate.
Judy, my girl,
Yeah,
Judy.
Judy. She
Mhm.
says something. He says something to the effect of, he's like, I'm seeing all this, but I can't believe it. This is insane. I'm not believing this. And she says, seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
Mm.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a quote from Charlie when Neil is like, what about his reindeer? Have you ever seen a reindeer fly? And he's like, no. And then Charlie's like, he's savage. He's like, you ever seen $1 million? And he's like, no. And he said, He goes on to say, just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
It's not
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
He's
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
he's kind of putting him in his place.
Yeah.
Saying,
I mean, that's true. Just because you don't believe it, just because you haven't seen it, doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah.
putting the psychiatrist in his place.
Yeah. Frick Neil.
Seriously.
hate
This is a Neil hate podcast.
All my homies hate you.
All my homies hate Neil.
For some reason, I feel like he's the most sane one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Him and the wife.
From an outside perspective, yes.
like
He is the one asking all the right questions.
you know what I want to see? I want to see a movie from their perspective because
Where you
like
get some random guy who's like, I'm Santa. And
Dude,
they're like, we
dude.
don't let him near our kid. Like,
seriously. And it's like overnight,
Imagine
this
being
dude has
the
just
mom.
gained 50 pounds. Like the next time you see him, he's just huge, and he's wearing red, and he's growing his beard out. I would be like, what the?
this guy's mentally insane. We can't. Don't let him near our kid.
Exactly. I'd be like, this guy's a freak.
That would be funny.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Imagine having to file a report that your kid's been kidnapped.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It really is. Yeah, again, the end, like this ultimately senile guy who believes he's Santa comes and steals your kid. I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
Thinking like this guy's
I'm
doing
Santa. Come on.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah, that'd be a wild one for
It'd be
sure.
a rated R one for show,
That would be a rated R one for sure.
and we can get Tim out.
Yeah, it would just be prisoners
Oh,
with a Christmas skin.
I don't know if this is insensitive, but I feel like some of that stuff he was dealing. It'd be like his kind of like his origins. It all comes back.
It all comes back.
Paul Dano dressed as an elf, getting tortured by Hugh Jackman, being like, "Where's my daughter?"
Turns on the water.
He's like, "She's in the North Pole." Like,
he's like, "Don't make me do this!" And he turns it's like hot chocolate. He just goes
Is it hot chocolate?
instead of hot water.
yeah, stabbing him with like
Candy cane?
sharpened candy
Candy
canes.
cane? Hold on a second.
It could work.
That'd be wild.
It can work.
All right, any other best quotes here?
I forget what the context is, but Tim Allen as Santa Claus tells Judy, "You look good for your age," because Judy is like
She said she was like
centuries.
1,200 years
yeah,
old or something.
I was gonna say like
that.
5,000 something. But she's super old, and she does look good for her age, but she's obviously a little kid, and she's an elf. But she was like she threw a line that I wouldn't expect for someone to say. She goes, "Thank you, but I'm actually seeing someone in rapping,"
Yeah,
and I thought it was just funny. It's super weird but funny.
yeah, definitely.
Another one that I had was from the same girl. I don't know what her name is. That saw the doll. He comes back, and she sees him again, and she goes, "You're fatter this year."
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "You're grown this year," and they have like this little interaction, super cute interaction.
Yeah. Callbacks, people.
Mm.
We love to see them.
Write that down.
Any other best quotes here?
No.
No,
All right, let's get into the bra moments then. For me, my first one was Scott burning dinner and then going to Denny's on Christmas Eve. I feel like Abe would love this.
we've done that.
You've gone to Denny's on Christmas Eve?
My dad actually didn't burn dinner. He didn't take out dinner long enough or early enough, so everything was like frozen still. And he said, "Okay, we're going to Denny's."
Let's
We
go
went
to
to Denny's.
Yeah.
Was there a fly in the syrup that time?
No. Man, we don't talk about that.
Tell your story. Tell a story.
You want me to tell that story?
Tell it.
Dude,
that
Obviously, don't like drop any names or like where at or anything.
no, I'm not going to say where. But I went to Denny's. It was just me and a couple
Imagine you're going
coworkers. No. And I love their French toast. Denny's French toast is so good. So I'm pouring syrup, bruh. And it's barely dripping out. Barely. Like drops. Drops, bruh. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to shake it.
There's some whole hard syrup in here, man.
Yeah. So I shake it. And bloop, a fly, bro. A whole fly. That thing was juiced up, like
Dude,
just.
I'm surprised it could fly after.
Did
it fly?
No,
No, it was just
It
drowned.
was just drowned.
Drowned
That
in the
thing was
surf.
dead. That thing was dead.
Yeah.
It was in the
Dude, did
cuticle.
you eat it?
No,
Did you
I complained, of course. And I said, I
Yo,
hate
I
to-
need some new French toast.
yeah.
There's a flyer
I,
here, dude.
I, so they took care of me. They gave me a new plate, and they didn't make me pay for my meal.
Oh, okay.
So they took care of me. But I was,
That's wild.
bro, I literally did one hard shake, and it fell out.
That's disgusting.
Dude, I wish I'd been there just to see your face.
I was just pissed. If that happens to me again, I'm never going to Denny's again.
Oh, man.
I
How
love
does it even
Denny's.
get in there? The
It
hole
gets
is
interesting.
the hole is like small enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it was a small fly.
Anytime I go to Denny's, I hate ordering.
Really?
Why?
They got the dumbest names for their food.
Oh,
You know how stupid I feel being like, give me a moons over my hammy. Like at that point, I just want to be like, give me a sandwich. Like, give me that sandwich right there.
Yeah.
Like I feel dumb being like, I want the All-American Grand Slam with a double twist on top or something. Like it feels the same thing like when you go to order at Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Oh, order me a triple double unicorn rainbow with a whipstick on a scooter stick as well with a fuzzle on top." And like I'm like, "Bro, you order. I'm not doing this."
Yeah.
I feel dumb. Like give me a mocha. That's all I want.
Just give you coffee.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I order at a new place. So if I order at somewhere new, I feel like I'm the dumbest person ever.
I mean, there's some lenience there if it's the first time.
No, I still feel.
It's always the drink menu that does it too. Like all those specialty like margaritas.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hola, don't you want one? Or something. I'm like, God,
Hold on, don't you want one?
it's like stupid stuff like
Yeah.
that.
They try to make him cute.
Yeah, but that
Just say what it is.
just give me. What?
I was waiting for you to finish your sentence.
I don't know what I wanted. That's what I'm saying.
I want the
That's what-
Bahama Mama.
Yeah. All right. What other
what are we
bromance
on
we
here?
got?
Oh, we're bromance.
What
Okay.
are the, dude,
Whoa, whoa, can
and
we
then-
go? Hold on. Let's go back to the timeline here.
Well, wait.
What
Before we do,
timeline?
because I want to
Because-
say real quick about the Denny's. Why are they treating it like it's McDonald's?
True.
They don't got chocolate milk, but they got regular milk.
They don't got
Yeah,
warm
true.
apple pie.
Like, you got regular milk. Go pour some chocolate syrup in the thing. I know you got that for
what
Sundays.
Did he order? What did he order that they didn't have?
He wanted chocolate milk. They said no, and he was like, "Regular milk, okay."
No, but the dad ordered one.
and then he said, "Oh, well, we could count on that warm apple pie, don't they?"
no, before that because he went
Eggnog.
eggnog.
And they said, "We're all out. We're all out."
Yeah, 1994 was different, man. The supply was tough.
Yeah.
No
it's a
chocolate.
first come first serve basis.
No
I guess.
chocolate. No,
Back to the timeline.
the timeline. So him going to that party, getting off super late, and going home is the same night, right?
Yes.
To pick
Yes.
up Charlie.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, Charlie's going to his house.
Right, or yeah, Charlie's coming over. How late is it?
I want to say it's like 10 o'clock.
No.
It's late, isn't it?
Well, it's winter, so it could be 5 o'clock or 3 in the morning.
I want to
Like-
say
But
it's
then,
10
like-
o'clock because he goes to bed. No, it's going to be like 4 or 5 because they make dinner.
Well, you think you'd get no, because it was dark. My thought was like, okay, maybe it's
It
maybe like
gets dark
6
when
or
it's 4
7.
o'clock here.
That's what I'm saying. It's either 5 o'clock or 3 in the morning. Like there's no way to differentiate the time in the winter.
I
Let's
don't
say
think-
5 o'clock because they make dinner.
Yeah, but the dinner is like there's a lot prepared. There's
Yeah.
a whole turkey that takes at least
then
3
let's say-
hours to bake, right? And
I
the
would
way
think
that
so.
it was burned, it's more than 3 hours. Because, like, how do you
Yeah.
burn something like that?
So then let's say he made dinner at 5. It took him 4 hours
It
to
is like-
burn the crap out of everything. So now it's 9.
It's 9:00.
His kid's starving. Hasn't eaten dinner.
So we're going to Denny's.
So then he goes
Actually,
to
they wanted
Denny's,
to
and
go
then
to
they're
like this Waffle House first.
Just
Yeah.
he strikes me as a guy who is not prepared, which is why I'm like he gets off at 5, and then he's gotta dress the turkey, he's gotta cut the potato. Like it takes like at least 3 hours just to be prepared. So you're just like putting the crap in at like 9 p.m. and then you still have enough time to burn the thing. My question is, how do you even burn stuff that bad?
I don't know.
How? I mean, that's
He's the dad. He's dumb. He's incompetent.
Is it even like realistic though?
No. Have you ever burnt anything in the oven?
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
The only things I've ever burnt are like things that are really temperamental. Like if you leave cookies in for an extra minute or two, they get kind of burnt on the bottom, or biscuits. But a whole turkey, like I feel like you gotta really bake the, or you gotta turn maybe you turn the broiler on instead of the. I don't know. I was like, where's all the time coming from?
Maybe like the iron racks that the heating rods that are on top. Maybe like touch the skin.
I just got caught up in the timeline. I was like, what is that? He's prepared enough to have the stuff ready to cook.
Wait,
but
Charlie's
he's not
ahead
prepared
of us.
enough.
Charlie's ahead of us. He says Santa has like this time continuum thing.
Oh, maybe he
ahead
had it
of us.
before he even assumed the mantle. That's the only way it makes sense.
That's what it makes
I don't
sense.
know.
Yeah, I just thought of it.
Anyways, he burns the crap out of.
Yeah, he does.
Promo moment 2 is when he gets to Denny's, and then you see all the other failed dads that are
Yeah.
there.
You
That-
get this too. You even see an elf in Denny's.
Do you?
No, where really?
You see an elf in the background. There's a kid with pointed ears
Ah,
in Denny's.
I did not know
watching
that.
them. Yep.
Watching, and they got them eye on him.
Yep.
Another bro moment is a little bit towards the middle of the movie after he's already accepted the fact that he's Santa and he's becoming Santa with his weight and his
Oh,
appearance.
you mean when Santa dies, right? Like after Santa dies, he's doing all
He's
this.
not dead.
When he falls off the roof and
He
and
literally-
ki- and
He
dies.
waves. He waves.
He's like
This is
saying,
parting
he's
goodbye.
like, this is my final
No, he said-
motion.
He said,
I'm
"Bye,
dead."
you're taking over."
I thought of it as like the Terminator. This,
Yeah.
you know, like as he's dying, he's like good luck.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's Charlie and Scott. Is it Scott? Yeah, Scott.
Santa.
Santa. And you get this little girl just sitting at the corner of the same bench, and then slowly inches her way near him, and then he starts seeing it, and gets like turns fully opposite, and then finally just sits in his lap, and says, "I want this for Christmas. I want this for Christmas." And people, obviously she knows he's Santa, I guess. But the bro moment is they're in a public spot. It's just a grown man having kids sit on their lap.
And they're lining up.
And they're lining up. And the mom shows up. And again, Nick made a spot. Imagine seeing your ex-husband with a bunch of kids on their lap. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm yelling 100%.
Yeah, that's
So-
how you know this movie was made in the 90s.
Everything was
Because
a lot easier.
People just didn't think about that stuff.
Yeah, you can leave your doors unlocked and
Yeah.
all that.
Another bro moment for me was whenever Scott takes up the mantle of being Santa Claus. Whenever he goes and delivers that canoe
Yes.
to the house,
And just destroys
he just
the
destroys
tree.
the tree and everything around it. And the entire time he's doing it, he's like,
He just doesn't want to
Like-
do it.
yeah.
Does he does he really deliver to 30 million? I mean, it's literally every kid, right? Santa's
Yes.
it's everyone who participates in Christmas,
Mm.
right?
And believes in him.
And believes. Well, even because what if kids? So we're saying that every single kid believes in Santa,
Essentially.
and if
I
they
would
don't,
say-
then no gifts come.
Yeah.
Or is it like the mom and dad get gifts, and then Santa gets an extra gift?
I don't know.
How does that? I never understood how that works.
I
See,
was
I
always
never-
under the impression that every kid gets something from Santa.
Every kid that's heard of Santa,
Like everyone in the world.
everyone in the world. That is a lot of freaking kids.
Yeah.
That is,
He has a time continuum.
but he still's got to do it.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's kind of like it's a form of hell, right? Like doing the same thing over and over, right?
Only one night out of the year.
I know, but you're going to like at least 1 billion kids.
Yeah.
1 billion kids, and you saw how long it takes them to do one.
Yeah.
I would just think like,
Yeah,
when
but
does
that
this
one
end?
that
Yeah.
one probably took like 1 second.
Well, and
Would you
listen to
want to
this.
be Santa?
You also have to think about like different time zones. So like in the amount of time that it takes for
We are
him,
putting too much thought to
in the
this.
amount of time that it takes for him to deliver presents on one side of the world, by the time they wake up, they'll be having that side of the world wakes up. The other side of the world will be going to sleep,
Right.
and then he'll be able to do the other half.
Well, my
Boy math, right?
Boy,
Is that-
man,
is that-
he's gonna pop a Red Bull and be like, "I got to do the
no,
other."
no, I thought like the whole thing was he could just pause time. Right? Like,
I don't know. We're debating Santa lore here. I don't know.
how else could he do it?
I think
I
he
don't
just
know.
slows it down. I think
Slows
an
it down.
hour. I think a minute.
If he
is
can
now an
if he
hour.
can freeze time, Santa's God. like at that point,
Santa's
Santa,
him.
or he's omnipotent and he can just be like, like send out versions of himself to deliver presents to every
Yeah,
single
there's
person.
a billion Santas, and he's conscious in them all.
Yeah,
That's the only way it makes sense, and it's not a curse.
yeah.
I just think of the role of Santa, and I think about it like a curse.
like Odysseus, just constantly pushing the rock up the hill, never getting anywhere with it. Yeah.
Like I imagine by the billionth kid, you're just like sick and tired of it, right?
Yeah, imagine all the dogs chasing you and stuff too.
Yeah. Another bro moment here for me. Whenever Scott gets to the North Pole and he starts like changing into his pajamas, there's like puppets in his room that are like talking.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
He takes his pants down
And they go,
and the puppets go ah and like hide. I was laughing pretty hard at that part.
Mhm.
And then what about this like really like ugly duckling of a scene in the entire film whenever they have the career day
Oh yeah.
and it opens up on the fireman and he just goes, "Remember kids, there's nothing more painful than third-degree burns." Like
And then the,
The
teacher
teacher-
goes,
the teacher was
"Okay,
like,
as a collective, I'm sure we can say I'm sorry for your friend."
yeah.
Oh
Bruh.
jeez.
Yeah. I was laughing at that scene. dude. I
Homeboy
was like-
showed up with death images of his
Yeah, I was
with
Of his
laughing
Instagram
partner.
reels of his
hard at that.
firefighter friend dying.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Any other bro moments?
Yeah, when Neil was super upset at 3 years old that he didn't get a whiny whistle.
No, the wiener whistle.
Weenie
yeah.
whistle.
Dude, and when he gets
Yeah.
in, he's going.
You would love one of those.
Listen,
You,
don't bring that up. Don't
you're
bring
just
that
a
up.
fan of Costco glizzies.
I love Costco hot dogs. I don't care.
so if
what
you got a
anybody
wiener
says.
whistle, I'm sure you'd be happy.
No. No.
Be able to blow on the weenie all day. all
Shut
you want.
up.
I'm just joking.
I love Costco hot dogs. I don't care what anybody says. For $1.50, you cannot beat the price.
You
It's
can't.
true.
You can't.
The combo is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear about that story about was it like the CEO or the owner of Costco
He's like,
threatening to fight somebody over increasing the price of the hot dog combo?
I think so.
To like $3.
They wanted
day
to
that
increase the
goes
price,
up-
and he was like, "You're going to increase that price over my dead body."
Yeah.
The day that goes up, the day I cancel my membership.
Honestly,
I go to
that's
Costco
the
more
only
before the
consistent thing
food.
in this world.
Amen.
Oh god.
What about Scott's heart beating to Jingle Bells?
Yeah, that was.
That's what it was?
Yeah, it's going. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, at first it was going dum 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 dum, and then it goes dum 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 dum.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I knew it beat to something, but I didn't know what it was.
it was Jingle
That
Bells.
doctor for. I
He's
just
got
think
to
it's
he's got to get a
negligence.
he's got to get a malpractice, right?
It's negligence, right? You can't look at a man and say
You're
you
healthy as
gained.
a horse.
Is it literally physically possible to gain 50 pounds in a week?
no.
It's not, right?
No. They'd be like, we need to get some tests done on you.
I
See
would
what's
look at
going
that and
on
be
here.
like, you are a drastically different man.
Yeah,
You need help.
and he's just like, "You're getting old. That's it."
I know, and he's like, lay off the sweets.
yeah,
Bro, you can eat like 1,000 You couldn't.
yeah.
And you'd
He's
still
got to
wouldn't.
he's got to get sued for malpractice
That's what I'm thinking.
at that point, because if he's giving that advice to any other patients, they're dying. Like all of his other patients are. Like
Yo, and I think of like when he's like, I just shaved this morning and he's got a massive beard. I'm like,
yeah,
it's literally impossible for hair to grow back that quickly. There's something wrong here.
Yeah.
This guy needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Says you can gain up to 15 pounds in a week.
15.
Mm-hmm.
15, is that the
Ain't no
maximum?
50.
I don't know.
Another bro moment for me was Scott getting his visitation rights suspended, obviously.
That was wild. I did
Yeah.
not really expect it to happen.
Yeah.
But and it sucks too because he's really trying, and he even like makes this pact with Charlie where they're like, "Hey, you know, let's keep it a secret.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
real.
give you $5.
I'll give you $5." And it was kind of like a little. But then when he goes to the courtroom and Charlie's like, "Don't worry, Dad. I told the judge everything," and I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
it's gonna make it look even worse."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets to take it away. That's crazy.
Yeah. Last one for me was the mom burning the like custody papers,
Mm-hmm.
and my immediate thought was, that's not how the legal system works, dude.
No.
Like,
No.
just because you burn the papers doesn't mean that legally he can't see the kid.
Yeah.
You know, now you got to go through the whole process of getting him custody back. Like,
And that's gonna be tough.
yeah.
That's gonna be.
After you just pleaded a whole case about this man is literally insane. He thinks he's Santa Claus. Keep him away from my kid.
And
now
now
you're
you
gonna go
want
back
him-
to the judge and be like, actually, he really was Santa. Like, so can we give him his custody back? They're gonna be like, oh, lock you up too, dude. Like,
No, the judge is gonna be like, blink twice if you're being held hostage.
Yeah.
Like, blink twice if everything's okay.
yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work. My last one though is when he says, when they just get in their sled and he's like, "Oh, cool, a CD thing." He's like, "Oh, a compact disc," and he goes, "No, cookie
Cookie
cocoa dispenser."
I want to try that cocoa.
Yeah, I will say Judy speaks about that hot cocoa like it's
She
God's
speaks a
gift.
mean
I
game
know.
yeah.
about that hot cocoa.
Life's nectar.
Yeah. Any other bro
Ambrosia.
moments?
I try
That's it. We talked about. You guys talked about some of mine. So
All right. If that's it for the bro moments, then let's move into facts with the bros.
yeah,
Dude.
let me hit you with the budget.
What is this?
It took $22 million to make this movie. But listen to this. Opening weekend, it made $19.3 million.
Dang.
Opening weekend, and it released November 13th.
Wait, $20 million.
$22
22
million.
million, and it made 19 in the first 3
Weekend.
days.
Where did it go? Is my question.
Box office?
Where did why did it cost so much?
I don't know.
Why did it cost so much? I
It-
don't understand.
They should have invested more of it into the.
We'll get into that.
get into it later.
Dude.
But so gross for U.S. and Canada made $145.5 million, and gross worldwide made $190.5 million.
I'm just taken aback by that number because, like, I'm not trying to derail the subject, but
$22 million.
literally,
That's a lot of money.
I just watched Godzilla -1, and that movie, I think their budget in yen was 15 million, so I think it roughly translates to 20 million in U.S. dollars. And that movie, like, I don't understand. That's
Yeah.
why I'm asking, where did this money go?
I don't know.
It
It is a
ain't-
money
it-
laundering thing. I don't know.
Nothing. I don't know enough about movies.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I don't know.
Let's see how much inflation has gone, bro.
I don't know. I will say this.
They went to the makeup. That's what it went to.
Yeah, it had to have been a big part of it because I read a little bit on the makeup process that Tim Allen had to go
Dude.
through. Dude had to go through 4 to 5 hours of makeup every day that they filmed. So imagine sitting for 4 to 5 hours getting makeup and prosthetics put onto you.
That's
and all this
before
stuff.
your job starts.
Yes, and then whenever it's done, it took 2 hours to take it all off at the end of the day. And he also would have to wear like multiple fat suits during filming, which took place in the middle of summer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So because of the latex of the suit and the makeup and all this stuff, Tim Allen would get heat rashes and scars and scratches and infections because of the suit. And there was a time limit on how long he could actually be in the suit while filming. He would max out at 6 hours because of the suit's poor ventilation. And he even went on ABC News afterwards to talk about the film and said that they got better and better at air conditioning him just to keep him calm once they like maxed him out in the suit for however long.
That's insane.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
At least $5 million of the budget went to that suit. Those
Yeah.
suits, at least.
Yeah.
Because I was surprisingly convinced by them. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You had mentioned that there was a an elf in one of the in what the Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an elf in one of the scenes where he's going up there and Charlie's saying, "Oh, my dad's Santa."
And during the school
In
scene?
school, yeah.
Oh.
I didn't see it, but apparently it's there. It's very noticeable. You can see its pointy ears. And when she brings out the globe and shakes it, and the whole class starts laughing, the elf, the one who's the elf there, is the only one who's not laughing in the scene. So they really do intricately place elves throughout the movie.
One thing that I thought was pretty cool was the grunting sounds that Comet makes in the movie. It's just sound effects from the game Doom.
All right.
Dude,
Nice reuse there.
yeah, I just like that. I thought that was cool.
I thought this was pretty wild actually. So this is crazy, but apparently on older releases of the film, there's a scene where Tim Allen makes a sarcastic remark and he includes the line 1-800-SPANK-ME in the line that he says in the older versions of the film. During the film's release, a woman from Cleveland, Ohio called the supposedly fictional number for her curious grandchildren, and it actually turned out to be a phone sex line. However, it wasn't until 1997 when Disney received complaints from parents whose children called the number and racked up huge phone bills that the studio would then take action to cut the line for future releases. Disney also said that they would purchase the phone number to disconnect the service. This part of the film has been cut from the DVD releases and on Disney Plus, but on television broadcasts, the number gets changed to 1-800-POUND.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It was a legit number.
yeah. I thought that was wild. But yeah, another. Well, this is my last fact actually here before we move on. But there's a scene or a part in the movie that we will get to in a further category that I have strong feelings on. But the director also had strong feelings on it. And it's specifically like the little like dance montage that Tim Allen does before his second Christmas Eve. Apparently that whole thing was improvised and done in one take. And the director decided to keep it into the movie because he felt it was so good.
All right.
Which we will come to talk about later.
Pretty soon, actually.
Yeah.
My last fact is apparently the role of Scott Calvin was written with Bill Murray in mind, which is
That-
wild.
It makes sense to me, but I could not see Bill Murray doing this.
No, and he goes on and declines the offer, saying that he didn't think the role fit his humor, which I definitely agree. I mean, when you think of him in roles like Steve Zissou,
I think even like Ghostbusters.
yeah, or like he's not a very charismatic.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
I
more
heard-
like a flat
Yeah.
humor.
Yeah.
I don't see him as a jolly person.
No.
Yeah. Bill Murray not being happy. That's one of his defining characteristics.
Yes,
For real.
couldn't imagine it.
Yeah. Any other facts here?
That's it for me.
All right. A couple casting what ifs here before we go. Things that I was seeing that kind of blew my mind. Not only Bill Murray was considered to play Scott
Nick Cage.
Calvin. No.
Oh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered to play Scott Calvin, as well as people like Harrison Ford and a couple other big name actors where I was just kind of like, man, they were reaching for anybody and everybody for this role here. Man, where I lost it in my notes here. Patrick Swayze, that's another one. Alan Rickman,
Alan Rickman.
yeah, to play Santa, and Scott. Oh, here it is. Robin Williams, Tom Hanks,
Robin Williams would have done a fantastic job.
Chevy Chase, John Ritter, Kurt Russell, Tom Selleck, John Travolta, Rowan Atkinson, Mike Myers, Michael Keaton, and Mel Gibson
Dude.
were all considered to play Scott Calvin.
John Travolta's already Santa Claus. You seen those commercials, man?
Yeah.
It's Capital One.
Yeah. But I have to say that they were trying to get anybody they could besides Tim Allen because of his criminal history.
But they made an exception.
They made an exception
Why?
for him and let him do it.
I don't know.
And it's kind of crazy because this movie ended up catapulting his career, and then he went on to do things like Toy Story and other big films. So.
Yeah, I feel like if he didn't have this clearance, there was no way they were gonna put him on Toy Story.
Yeah.
No, I actually, I think he fits this role. His voice to me is just soothing.
He does have a good voice.
I don't know what it is. It really reminds me of like a radio voice,
Mm.
Which I think was why I enjoy.
I feel like
Him
this
here.
sound weird,
Okay.
but I feel like he can do like ASMR.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know. It's got like that nice, not the rasp, but it's like
It
a.
just has a nice
not.
tone.
Just thinking about Tim Allen doing ASMR is so funny to me. Like in like the little ear mic, you know what I'm talking about? Where he's going, the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. You are now feeling some pressure.
Yeah, but ASMR is not just whispering.
No, and it's like, you can't hear. These are you can't hear, but it's like, it's all the. And it's always so freaking loud.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always so loud too.
Yeah, dude. Let's max the mics real quick. No, I'm just kidding. All right, if that's it for the facts, what didn't work for this movie?
Dude.
I thought this movie was long for some reason. I thought this movie was so long,
It does
But it's-
drag.
but it's only an hour and a half.
It drags.
I woke up
Definitely.
this morning to watch it this morning, right before work. I think I woke up by like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Mm.
It was an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone and I said, "Oh, dude, it should be almost done." It was only like 20 minutes in. And I was like, holy cow, what the heck?
Yeah.
And maybe it felt like that because I just woke up and watched the movie.
Mm.
But I thought it took a long time to watch the movie.
Yeah, the film does drag at some points. Like there are spots where I'm like, this needs to hurry up, dude. Like, and I don't want that to sound mean, but like just the story kind of just it gets stale for a little bit, and
Yeah.
there's parts where I'm kind of like, okay, where is this leading to? We should be there by now, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
CGI is dog water.
Awful.
This is the worst part of the movie.
Like, absolutely.
It does not hold
and
up.
when you said, well, obviously our technology is way better than it was in 1994, so we could give it a little credit that a $15 million movie now, being Godzilla, can have better CGI. But
Also, this is Disney.
I was thinking about the budget for the film and when this movie came out, and I was thinking of like Terminator 2. That came out in 1991.
That is so much better.
It's so much better, but it had like a $100 million budget.
Oh,
Same thing with like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park came out the year before this movie. It had like a $90 million budget. So I'm wondering if the movie had a bigger budget, would the CGI be better?
I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget for Terminator 2 was
Probably.
Insane. It's like 100 million something.
102 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not fair to judge it with.
But it still looks horrible.
It looks freaking terrible. I'm not even
And that's
gonna
something
lie.
that does take away from the movie because it makes us laugh.
Yeah, every time I see the reindeer on screen, them flying, I'm like,
Dude, there's a scene specifically where like they are going off the roof and he's like he doesn't know how to drive it and it goes like down and around and the camera's
Yeah.
positioned here and you see and it just looks I don't know
like,
how to explain it.
The way that I can try to explain it is like you can tell that they filmed a shot where there was nothing there,
Yes.
and then it was added in.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like you can tell that whenever they filmed this shot, there was nothing actually there, and they just did this like pan, and they said we're gonna add this in post, and then it feels like they copied and pasted like a GIF, like like onto it, and we're just like they like dragged it across the screen, like it's bad looking.
I hear you. Yeah, I agree.
It is dog water.
Yeah.
It took me out every single time. I said,
Yeah.
Dude, there's a scene when like these elves are like flying away, and at
"Oh,
one-
then it's wire work for sure."
Dude, it looks
Going
wire-
like, and they
it
always
is
do their
wire
like leg.
Their leg is
behind
always
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah, always.
so bad.
Another part of this movie that didn't really work for me. The movie sets up like these rules and like expectations for Santa and the North Pole and stuff like that. It sets them up, but then it never abides by its own rules. Like this is something little, but there's a scene whenever Bernard, the head elf, is like, "Oh, you'll know that to mark a kitty naughty or nice whenever you get the list. You just put a P for present and C for coal." And then whenever he gets the list, he looks at it and it's just a single checkbox by every kid's name, and it's like, I thought it was supposed to be a P and a C, like for this, and now we're just checking it, or X in a box or something like that. You know, little things like that, or like we're supposed to operate under the notion of like Santa being undetected and like not people not knowing who Santa is or anything like that. Same could go for like the ELFS. They're like this like like the special task force.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the ELF has the
Like,
elves, pretty much.
Yeah, they spell it out as elves,
I
but
don't-
it's like ELFS. Like
Yeah.
they're like this like special elf task force that's supposed to go in
Emergency
and help,
something.
right? And like you would think they would want to go in and be like as stealth as possible, but they are doing everything to make themselves known.
I don't get it.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like
Maybe they're doing it to make Santa known because Santa's dead.
I don't know.
No, he's not dead. I take that back. He's not dead.
I don't know. There's
It
just
just frustrates me.
there's some areas where I'm kind of like, I don't know what the movie's trying to do here. And like I even had a discussion with my wife where she was like trying to tell me that the original Santa didn't die. He just became desantified. And that it explains it in later movies. And I had said, the way that the movie is written makes me think that Santa died and he put his clothes on and now is Santa because of it.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, that's why would it be a kid's movie? And I was like, it makes me think that way. And then whenever he becomes the new Santa, all of the elves he comes back to the North Pole, doesn't know what it is, nothing like that, and everyone's just kind of like, hey,
You're new here.
you're the new guy.
Whatever.
Like they don't have any sort of like grief or any semblance of like sorrow for the previous guy that they've been serving for
Yeah.
whoever knows how long. So
centuries.
then I said, does that mean that Santas die all the time? Like, do they just
used to it by now?
They just die, and all the elves are kind of like, I've been doing this for 12,000 years. They're kind of used to it, you know? Like,
I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to function.
yeah.
I don't get. I just don't understand what they're trying to do with Santa. Like I feel like he's both not in control of his Santa powers and also in control of it. You know what I mean? Like what's to stop like when he goes to prison just why not just like use little magic and create a chimney to go out?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
He doesn't have the bag. He didn't have anything. I think the bag
what
has
do you mean?
magic.
Oh, it's the bag that's magic, not Santa himself?
Yeah. He put the reins on.
No, that like comes from
Because-
him. I thought
No, because he.
So then he's like Batman.
he's literally just like a person
Yeah.
in a suit.
That's the person. That's what he was before.
The
He
suit
didn't
is
ha-
the power.
He didn't have any powers before he put on the suit.
Yeah, but that's because he wasn't Santa Claus.
Exactly.
But then he puts all he is Santa. Like once he assumes the role, he has the powers of Santa.
Yeah.
Right. He comes. That's why I'm like I don't get his. I don't get it. I also don't get like. In my like I just don't understand the whole idea of Santa, is like he is there to spread hope and cheer,
Yeah.
but in an indirect way. Like
Mhm.
you don't physically see him and be like, yo, that's Santa. I believe because I see him.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea is like you hold on to this inner hope that you have of like
Believing is seeing.
exactly, or like you don't need to know he's there
Yeah.
to see him,
Yeah.
and like it just makes more sense to me of kids being like surprised by
Mhm.
Santa or hearing little noises, but barely catching glimpses of him.
Yeah.
And like, but still having the hope in their hearts. That's what keeps Santa alive.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the elf movies, where it's not like, it's the hope of Christmas is what keeps
Yeah.
him around.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, well, why are you just like showing people yourself?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It doesn't feel as special to me.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, what's the point here? If the point is you don't need to see him to really believe that he's there,
Yeah.
then why are you just like showing literal civilians?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole crowd of people watching the sleigh go by, Santa flying away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't like, I don't know, I just
Yeah.
don't like it. I don't
get
like Santa being this, oh, I'm going to be on the news.
Where was this argument when we watched Elf?
Do they see him in Elf is my question.
No, they don't actually see Santa. They see Buddy, and it's like the whole
But they
Sasquatch
see-
thing.
But
you know?
they see Santa leave.
They see him leave, and then but
They
then
still
it's
see Santa leave.
I don't know. Like, I think of the elf squad flying over the cop. And the
Yeah.
cop just being like, "Oh," and spilling the
All
coffee. I'm
over
like,
him.
isn't the point to not see?
yeah.
That's the whole point,
Yeah.
right? That's why I'm like, this movie confuses me
Yeah.
about what it means to have Christmas spirit and to believe in Santa.
Mm.
It just confuses me because now it's like you have literal people who have seen him. How could you be like, oh, that's crazy?
Yeah.
You literally saw flying reindeer. Like, and it wasn't just you. It's not like
You have
like,
multiple eyewitnesses.
it's not like group hysteria. I don't get it. I don't get how
That
you can.
reminds me of that news clip of
The
all the people saying, "Whoever saw the leprechaun, say yeah, yeah."
I just. How could you not believe in that moment, right? The whole point
Yeah.
of Santa is to be like, yeah, I don't need to see it. You wake up on Christmas morning and there's gifts like like crazy.
Yeah.
You don't need to see him, but then he's like, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just be. I don't know.
Okay. Another thing that really didn't work for me, I just found like felt like there was stuff that in the movie that just didn't need to be there. Like
Speak it
filler.
right now.
Like
I know you're
Okay.
gonna talk about it.
how this whole like flame retardant suit thing.
What's the
Why?
point?
What's the point of having a flame retardant suit? Santa's been going down chimneys for who knows how long,
And you're just
and
making it.
and you're just now making a flame retardant suit. It hasn't been an issue for him since the beginning of time.
Oh, but now Scott and Charlie are now here.
But now they've come around and they're like, oh, we developed this flame retardant suit, and they torched that thing,
Yeah.
and they're like, see, look, it works. And then Scott Calvin puts it on and starts doing this little dance, like they do this whole line dance thing, and I was like, what the hell is this, dude? What am I watching right now? Why is this in the film?
I don't know.
I guess you can say they try to make it Disney and make it almost like a musical, because I feel like almost every Disney movie has a scene where someone's dancing.
That was if that was any semblance of it trying to be a musical and like having choreographed dancing, it was a poor one at that.
Yeah.
And the fact that the director said, I'm going to keep this in because it's just so good.
Where?
Hey, what other movies did you direct? Let me know so I can never watch them.
Yeah, what did he direct, bro?
Because if that's your judgment, I'm not watching. Like,
I always no time.
I'm out, dude. Like,
I don't know.
yeah,
dude.
it's crazy.
Yeah, 100% that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Something that I don't like, and you guys talked about, I feel like we talked about it already, is the timeline for this movie. Is a year
An entire year takes place in the span of 20 minutes.
20, yeah. Like, that is crazy. I want to know what happened.
Yeah. And like how does his job not know that he's been gone? Like for as long as he has been.
I don't know.
Like he comes back one day and everyone like he's been gone enough for a long enough time to where whenever he comes back they're like, "Oh man, you put on some weight." Like
That's why I'm like,
and
I thought
and
it
like
was just a couple days though.
and let me ask you this too.
Because if
Santa
you
lore.
like, if you came around, and say I hadn't seen you, I hadn't seen you in like 4 days, and you came and you were like
Fat.
you were like 50 to 60 pounds more, I'd be like, wait,
What happened?
I would be like, is that even physically possible? I'd be like, are
That's
you,
insane.
Yeah.
you guys, are you all right?
Are you okay?
And
Like-
they're just like, oh, you're ugly. Like,
Yeah.
why are you wearing sweats to work?
Yeah. Okay, there's another question that just got brought up in my mind right here. Santa lore question here
Okay.
in this universe, right? Because the question or the movie poses the question that anybody can be Santa if they put on the suit.
That's what the kid says.
But whenever you put the suit on, you like forsake everything about your original life. You leave your job, you do all that stuff. You use that 11 months to get your affairs in order so that way you could be Santa for the rest of your life, right? What happens when like somebody who like is like trying to cure cancer
Oh,
or
true.
like is like an incredibly like successful doctor puts the suit on and now they've got just like, oh yeah, just got to give that all up.
Yeah.
They're
to
like,
go be
the
Santa.
next day of work, they would have solved cancer.
Yeah.
And now they're like,
Now they're like, oh, I gotta be Santa now.
yeah, I was like, oh, come on.
Like, you know, like is that the logic that we're putting into this?
I think so.
No, well, there's two ideas I think that are kind of clashing in this film. It's of fate. Is it fate that you're supposed to be Santa?
Mm.
No.
Or is
because
it
then
of like a mistake and you assume the mantle because it's just your duty?
It's the right thing
Yeah.
to do.
It's kind of because you get those themes of like, oh, Scott Calvin, SC, Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of fits in. He's a toy maker or a
Yeah.
toy distributor or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then if you try to follow that, Charlie says, I'm going to be in the family business.
No, he ain't.
Charlie Claus. Okay.
You can't do it. You should have named him something like Steve or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it for me for what didn't work. There's like a lot of little things.
A
Yeah.
lot of little things for sure. But
Yeah.
it's,
Death by 1,000 paper cuts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It just led me
yeah,
to
if
feel
you pour
no.
alcohol on me right now, I'll probably be dead.
I just really just didn't feel the joy, honestly. Like when it comes to the
But-
end, I thought it was somewhat sweet when the two adults get their gifts that they always wanted and all that.
Well,
but
then let's talk about what did work then.
Yeah.
okay,
And that's something that I kind of did like was like I did kind of feel something towards the end
Mm.
when and it's kind of I feel like it's the only arc that he had was when Scott was like, actually no, Charlie, stay here with them, they deserve you. Like you even said it, like those kids are depending on me. Like that like made me feel good. I was like finally, like you're realizing that you're Santa Claus. Go do your job. Charlie knows you're gonna be Santa Claus, and he knows you got him. Like it felt good, and when they got the gift, it just felt good.
Yeah, I will say that there's some areas of the writing where it's okay. Like I like the idea that like we get introduced to Scott and he is like a piece of trash. You know, like it even seems
Just
to
a
like
liar.
he's like yeah, and it even seems to like at some points where like he like doesn't like his kid. Like he's like telling his kid like, shut up, quit asking so many questions, go to sleep. You know, like all this type of stuff. But by the end of it, we get the sense that like he truly does actually care for his kid, and there's like some semblance of an arc there. I wish that the arc felt more earned, and that there was more along the movie that could make us actually see that like, okay, he's actually accepting the role of Santa, and he's actually realizing like this actually means so much to my kid that like I want to not only do it for him but also for all the other kids that believe in me the way that my kid does. You know, I just wish that there was an overall just better arc
Yeah,
for Scott.
I hear you.
Yeah, and you said a little bit of the writing. I enjoy some of the humor, especially with Tim Allen. I think he's got a lot of his one-liners, especially when he's kind of throwing jabs at Neil.
Yeah.
I think are just they got to me.
Yeah.
A lot of the jabs he throws at New York are funny.
Yeah, they are.
So the humor in areas worked for me.
Yeah. I have to say, I think the puppeteering of the reindeer is actually really good.
Okay.
And that ages so much more incredibly well than the CGI ever did.
100%.
Like, I don't really understand why they make the reindeers fart, and like they make them like super nasty for some reason. but like
Yeah.
the actual like puppeteering and the way that they look and the way that they move and all that stuff is really good, and I think that will continue to age way better than any CGI here.
Yeah.
So
And along with that, I think the fat suit looks actually great. There were moments where I caught myself thinking, man, did he actually like really go on and gain the weight to kind of, fill into the role? Like, I thought he was going to do a Christian Bale type change of his body to really, say that
Actually
he's
gain the
dedicated.
weight.
Yeah.
Imagine gaining the weight.
And it's kind of progressive too. So there are scenes where I was like, man, it looks pretty natural. Like, I can't really tell what's real and what's prosthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say too, I really enjoyed the set design here of the North Pole.
The North Pole's sick.
Like, I actually enjoyed that it looked like there was a set built for the North Pole. They made it look like really extravagant and like almost kind of like campy,
Yeah.
and I appreciate the extent of the detail there. That's probably where a huge piece of the budget probably went to, is making this thing and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it for me for what did work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree
Not a
with you.
lot for me.
Okay, who wins this movie?
I think it's Tim Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen. Tim Allen for sure as
Yeah.
Scott
Yeah.
Calvin.
I agree. What are some themes for this movie? I put simply, seeing is believing. Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. The quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah.
Suit always fits.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It always fits.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it eventually will.
Exactly.
Yep.
Can you
Call
not-
back to our previous episode.
Isn't it?
the
It's
same-
uncanny how
It's kind
similar.
of the same story, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's about
a guy who feels not equipped to fulfill the role.
in
but
a
he got
suit that doesn't fit.
quite literally.
Yeah.
He gets thrust into it. Doesn't really know how to do it. It affects his relationships, his entire life.
Yeah.
Eventually, he decides, I am this person. I'm going to do it because that's who I need to be. That's who I've been called to be. And guess what? He's really good at it.
And the suit fits.
And
it
the
fits.
the suit fits. It's literally Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man in a Christmas form.
Yep.
So all the same themes apply there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. What are we rating this?
I'll go first. I give it a 5.
Okay.
I think it for some people it holds it. For me, I might return to it. I might not. That's why it's at a 5. And I think it's somewhat enjoyable. So
I'm going to give it a 5 too.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm more irritated than I realized about the whole Santa thing.
Yeah.
5. It's
All right.
it's just average. Like
Yeah.
there's no way I'd be like, get that off my screen. Or I wouldn't be like, oh, you like that movie? I just that's just a movie I'd be like, you want to throw it on? All right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
definitely a background noise movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I won't fight you about it. If any Santologist person in the comments being like, well, actually, Santa is this and that, and his power is this, I'd be like,
And
yeah,
he's
all
on
right.
it.
I'd just be like, oh, you're right, all right.
You want to know something my cousin used to tell me, because I remember asking him questions about Santa when I was little. I remember asking him, like my house at the time, I don't have a chimney. How does Santa get it to my house if he doesn't have a chimney?
What about all
He
the
told
apartments?
me he has a special dust that he sprinkles on himself to where he can slide under doors.
I've heard that before.
And I was like, that's terrifying. like
Imagine
to think that at any point this guy could sprinkle some dust on him and slide under a door and get you. Like that's scary.
Is it like, why hasn't anybody made a Santa Claus movie that's a horror?
They have
Have they really?
Krampus,
No,
then also
Krampus is different.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Is it Santa?
He's a mall Santa.
No.
He's a mall Santa that goes crazy. There's also one, I don't know if it's about Santa, but there's an old slasher called Black Christmas.
Oh, okay.
that-
No, I'm thinking like Santa with his powers and everything.
Oh,
too.
and they make him scary.
Yeah.
Like
imagine.
like the Winnie the Pooh horror movie.
Yo, imagine just seeing a liquefied being slide into your, and it's just like
And
dark.
it's a 7-foot gargantuan
Violent
man.
Night?
Dude, I already see.
Oh yeah, well, that just came out recently.
Yeah, with
with David Harbour.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes, he plays Santa. It's called Violent Night.
Yeah, I got.
It's
Well, I just.
when a group of mercenaries attack the estate of a wealthy family, Santa Claus
Dude, imagine.
must step in to save the day and Christmas.
I'm thinking like a Babadook figure. Just imagine like
Someone
that,
menacing like
you know,
that.
all like you see like in the corner of your room, this big rotund character, and it's just he's just got a grin from ear to ear, and his eyes are beaming white.
Okay,
Tell me,
Jeff the Killer.
dude, I would be terrified.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
That's
for sure.
Violent Night. Look at David Harbour, bro.
No,
Yeah,
it's gotta. No, it's not what I'm thinking of.
yeah. I want a Santa horror movie.
I feel like we could do something crazy.
Yeah, we could.
Krampus is different though, right?
Krampus is like a
eats
German.
kids?
He's like a German folklore tale type thing.
And isn't he like a beast or something?
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. But anyways, that's the end of the episode, you guys.
Right here. Christmas Bloody Christmas.
When was that made? The 80s?
2022.
2022? Okay.
No way.
We'll have to look that up after.
Oh, it says it's Christmas Eve and Tori wants to get a drink and party, but when a robotic Santa Claus at a nearby Toy Story goes haywire and begins a rampant killing.
See, it's always like a
It's Five
robot
Nights at
or
Freddy's, bro.
like a mall Santa
Yeah, it's
or
not
something.
really
I want actual Santa
Santa.
Claus, like
I
from the
want
North
Santa
Pole.
to be
I want-
tired of the stuff and just
Yeah, just crack, go postal.
That would be sweet.
imagine.
I can
Starts killing
imagine.
elves. Like going crazy in the North Pole.
I'm tired of hearing you.
That'd be
I
wild.
could see it, man. I could see it.
Uses the reindeer to just trample them, bruh.
Oh, jeez. You know, it's like that
It'd be
new
something
thing.
of Happy Tree Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, have you seen that movie? I think it's called Thanksgiving or whatever. Where
Oh,
like
the
that,
horror
that
movie?
killer
Yeah,
uses
yeah.
utensils of Thanksgiving and kills
Yeah.
people with it. I could imagine a Christmas movie kind
Killing someone with
Yeah.
a turkey baster.
Yeah.
of. No, dude.
Put it up there.
Imagine him like waterboarding someone, but with the hot chocolate instead.
That's what I'm talking about. Lick the candy canes and start shanking someone with it.
Yeah, you really could. Bro. Dude, hit someone with a Christmas tree in their face, bro. Get those pine needles in their eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you tie him on the back of the sleigh.
Strangle somebody with some Christmas lights.
Yeah.
You
or a
leave him out
wreath.
to get frostbitten.
Yeah.
You poison the eggnog with extra alcohol, or like
Put formaldehyde in it.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. That's the end of the
That's it,
episode.
man.
That's
We
the
just
end
took a
of this
weird turn.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the episode, you guys. So if you stuck all the way to the end, we appreciate you. If you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, we appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. Comment on the videos as well. Let us know what you're thinking. And hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we upload. If you are listening on the audio platforms, then you can rate and review the show and really help us out there as well. Whether that be you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google or whatever you listen to on whatever you listen to podcasts on, rate and review the show. Let us know what you're thinking. It really helps us out. And if you don't want to reach out to us and let us know what you're thinking on such a public platform for everybody to see, you can click into our episode descriptions and let us know what you're thinking there. You've got an email address that we've got that you can talk to us on, our Instagram accounts and our Letterboxd as well. Let us know what you're thinking through those platforms as well. But as always, we kind of mentioned a little bit last week that for the month of December, we're going to be doing something a little different here. Just not only to kind of conserve the Christmas movies that there are, the sparse few that there are, but also to kind of, take in the season with one another and be able to spend time with family and all this stuff. So for this next upcoming week, we're going to be taking a break. And then after that, we will be coming back with my pick, which is going to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Mm.
And
I've heard so much about this.
yeah.
it's a classic.
I've never seen it.
I feel like it's a
I think
classic.
I watched it with. I watched a little bit with you. I think.
It's great. And
Okay.
all of the National Lampoon's vacation movies are hilarious. They're big comedies. So whenever we go in to watch this movie, I want you to know that this is like a comedy. It's not anything serious or
Right.
meant to be taken serious or anything like that. It is fully just for laughs and a good time.
Okay.
And I think the Christmas Vacation is a really fun movie, and I think it's somewhere where like Chevy Chase really shines. And there's a lot of like, I think you guys will see whenever you watch it that there is just tons of references from this movie that you guys will notice later, and you'll be like, dude, wait, I've heard this before, or I've seen this before, or
Yeah,
something
I feel
like that.
I
you
see
know?
a lot. Like, I feel like there's a station wagon with a Christmas tree on top of it, and I feel like a lot of people wear a shirt with that.
Mm.
So I feel like I already know some of the stuff.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what you guys think about it. I believe it's currently streaming on HBO Max, which is where I last watched it.
Perfect.
And if not, then you're going to have to rent it or something like that, or maybe it's on another streaming platform. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But again, next week we will not have an episode out. We'll be taking a break, and then we'll come back the week after
Yeah.
with...
I think that'll be the 20th.
It should be, because...
The next week we're off. The 13th is on Wednesday when it normally come out.
Yes, so
And
we
so-
scheduled it. Yeah, so it'll come out. Our next episode will come out the 20th.
All right.
And then we will take a break the week of Christmas and come back on the new year.
New Year.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
We will see you 2 weeks.
yes.
2024? Oh, no, yeah, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2
Right.
weeks. So, stick around. If you're upset about our break,
Go listen to another
Let us
you know,
episode.
go listen to other episodes.
Listen to your favorite episode.
to fill the void or something like that. Let us know what you're
How
thinking
many
there.
times, man?
But yeah, as always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. So thank you guys, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.